Sandy had rented a car big enough for the three of us and our luggage, and as I left my room and my balcony, I felt a sudden pang of homesickness for this place, where I had been for only a few hours. Sandy came to my room to see if I needed anything. Set? I think so. The flowers are pretty well wilted, but I put the rest of the fruit in a plastic bag. I thought we might want it while we're driving. Good thought. He sat down on the sofa. I talked with your parents last night. Sandy and Denny's must have astronomical phone bills, but I was still I was surprised. Everything's fine, and I gave them a good report on you. They haven't heard from you yet. It's too soon. I've written every day, at least a postcard. They're aware that mail takes at least a week or 10 days. I should have phoned when you could talk. Should I have phoned when you could talk with them? I shook my head slowly. And I talked with Ursula and Max. We could call again if you like, so you could talk. I shook my head again, bent to pick up my shoulder bag. Max is weaker, Urs says, and in a good bit of pain. It was more a question than a statement. I slung the bag over my shoulder. We'd had all the big conversations on Benny Seed. I had nothing to add. Sandy went to the door. Someone will be up for your bag in a moment. We'll meet you in the lobby. His voice was even, not condemning, not judging. Okay. I sat down to wait. I didn't want to leave. I wanted to be going somewhere with Zachary. I'd been devastated when Sandy and Rhea were not at the airport to meet me. Now I'd be delighted if they were delayed for another week. A knock on my door. Time to go. Rhea insisted that I sit in front with Sandy since she was so familiar with the countryside. I told them what Zachary and I had done, where we'd gone, and they approved. He wasn't very thorough. 1 hour in the museum, and I'll have to go back to Delphi and Osias Lucas. It's also overwhelming. There's far more than I can manage to see in a week. And you don't want to get saturated, Sandy said. Just a sip here, a taste there, and you'll know what you want to drink of more deeply the next time. And there'll be a next time, Polly. Maybe not for the next few years, but you have travel in your blood, and Greece will draw you back. Now, my loves, my plan for today is this. We'll stop in Corinth for lunch and a little sightseeing, and go on to Napoleon for the night. Then tomorrow, we'll push on to Epidaurus. We'll spend a good part of the day there, and then we'll have to head back to Athens to get on your plane to Cyprus. We'll stick to a fairly easy pace, Rhea added. Sandy and I are in the mood to putter along, enjoy things without pressure, all right? Fine, absolutely anything's fine. Charleston is the farthest I've been from Benny Seed in years, and I've missed Europe. Rhea leaned over the seat. Have you read Robinson Jeffers' play about Medea? Max had me read it, along with a lot of Aeschylus and Sophocles. How did you get along with all that classicism? With Max's help, pretty well. I didn't want to talk about Max, but with Rhea and Sandy, it was impossible not to. Sandy and Rhea were much more thorough sightseers than Zachary. If we want to plummet Polly back thousands of years, Sandy said. Mycenae's the place. It was. As we drove steadily uphill, the sky clouded over, and as we approached Mycenae, the wild gray of the sky seemed to go with a stark and ancient magnificence. Max had shown me her sketchbooks of Greece, but they hadn't prepared me for the reality. She'd taken me through a good bit of Sophocles, some of which I thought was absolutely fantastic and some of which was boring, and I knew that the Acropolis of Mycenae was the setting for his plays. We parked the car and walked through the stone gates. At the top of the mountain, Sandy grasped my arm. Do you realize, Paul, that these are the gates through which Agamemnon and Orestes walked? Come on, I'll show you the place which is thought to be where Clytemnestra murdered Agamemnon in his bath. You'll read Sophocles differently after this. I reached for his hand. Why are human beings so violent? We can be tender too, he said, and we can laugh at ourselves. Didn't Max give you any comedies to read? I think we just didn't get to them. Perhaps she thought they were too bawdy, Rhea suggested. Sandy laughed. I doubt that. Max is committed to opening Polly's eyes. Max's plans for the education of Polyhymnia O'Keeffe had been interrupted before we got to the comedies, and we'll pause there.